The Ottoman Empire was sinking, not from war, but from debt that consumed the state.
Every loan carried crushing interest, slowly tightening a financial noose around the empire.
Wars like the Crimea War doubled the empire's debts, straining an already fragile economy. The empire had almost no industry to generate revenue, leaving it unable to repay loans. They borrowed more just to pay off existing interest, creating a cycle of dependency.
In 1875, the empire officially defaulted, its finances now controlled by foreign powers.
Britain, France, and other creditors took control of Ottoman revenue streams. The Ottoman Public Debt Administration was established, run entirely by Europeans. Taxes from salt, tobacco, and customs no longer benefited the empire. They went straight to Europe.
European powers controlled the most profitable Ottoman industries, ensuring dependency.
The Sultan had little authority over his own treasury. Power had shifted abroad.
Railway construction slowed under European pressure, keeping the empire dependent.
When Germany proposed the Berlin-Baghdad Railway, it threatened British and French control.
Britain and France lobbied to delay the railway, maintaining their leverage over Ottoman trade.
Nationalist uprisings in the Balkans further drained revenue and destabilized the empire.
Debt payments consumed nearly all state income, leaving little for governance. Europeans seized ports and customs, stripping the empire of trade control. With every loan, the empire lost autonomy and became economically enslaved.
By World War I, the Ottoman Empire remained vast, but financially, it was a prisoner of Europe.
European inspectors monitored every Ottoman income source, leaving the empire under constant surveillance.
Farmers paid taxes not to their sultan, but to European creditors controlling their lands.
The empire's financial records became symbolic of its lost sovereignty.
Foreign powers seized control of trade hubs, stripping the Ottomans of maritime revenue. Every infrastructure project faced delays and manipulation to keep the empire dependent.
Europe controlled the empire's access to strategic waterways, controlling trade routes.
Military expenses skyrocketed, financed entirely through borrowed money.
Debt compounded annually, creating a financial trap the empire could not escape.
Europe's shadow loomed over every decision, from taxes to trade.
Ordinary citizens bore the brunt, paying taxes in food, labor, and time.
Planned railways, vital for economic growth, were repeatedly stalled by foreign interference. Britain lobbied hard to delay the railway, protecting its colonial trade routes. France, too, manipulated policy to maintain dominance over Ottoman commerce. Maintaining order across vast lands consumed resources the empire didn't have.
Debt payments devoured nearly all state income, leaving the empire financially paralyzed. European powers dominated industries, extracting wealth directly from Ottoman lands.
The Sultan had no real control. The empire's finances were in foreign hands.
Customs and tariffs, once the empire's lifeline, were seized by European creditors.
Each loan tightened the financial chains, binding the empire to Europe.
The burden of foreign debt fell on ordinary citizens through taxes, labor, and hardship.
The OPDA controlled all debt repayments, essentially running the empire's finances.
Modernization projects were deliberately delayed to maintain dependency.
Control of strategic waterways kept the empire under European influence.
Every year, more revenue went to debt repayment than to the army. Local agriculture suffered as revenue was siphoned off to foreign creditors. The empire's lifeline, its treasury, was nearly gone. Foreign powers stalled the empire's railways to keep trade dependence.
By the eve of World War I, the Ottoman Empire remained vast, but financially, it was a prisoner.
Foreign banks dominated Istanbul's financial district, deciding the empire's fate. Debt repayment came before the needs of the people or the army.
Rural citizens worked endlessly to pay taxes, leaving little for survival.
Local industry collapsed. Modernization was stunted by foreign control.
Europeans dictated policy from Istanbul to Anatolia, leaving the Sultan powerless. Strategic ports were under European command, controlling all trade. Even the empire's railways were controlled to maintain dependency.
The currency weakened as loans piled up, eroding public trust.
The OPDA collected revenues directly, bypassing the Ottoman treasury. Essential commodities like salt and tobacco were controlled by Europeans.
The Sultan could only watch as his empire lost economic freedom.
Taxes collected from Ottoman citizens went directly to foreign creditors. Revolts in the Balkans drained revenues and destabilized the region. Most revenue was sent abroad, leaving the army underfunded and weak.
Critical infrastructure projects were repeatedly halted by foreign powers. The Berlin-Baghdad Railway promised independence, threatening European dominance. Britain lobbied to delay railway construction, protecting its colonial trade routes. France joined, ensuring European control over Ottoman commerce continued.
Revenue that once sustained the empire flowed entirely to foreign creditors.
Ordinary citizens bore the brunt through labor, taxes, and hardship.
The treasury was empty, consumed by years of unsustainable debt.
Customs revenue, once the empire's lifeline, was seized by foreign powers. Each new loan tightened the chains of dependency on Europe. Local agriculture collapsed as revenue was siphoned off for debt repayment.
By the start of the 20th century, the Ottoman Empire remained vast, but financially, it was a prisoner.